Hello, it's Rocky. How are you guys doing? Happy New Year. It's 2026 finally, which is really insane. It went by fast. As you can tell, I do have a podcast name now. I'm so excited. It's called Through My Stories with Rocky. I don't know if I remember if I put through my stories or through our stories. Something like that. So this is very connected to why I'm doing a podcast also. It has a lot to do of why I'm doing it. And I wrote a script again cuz I want to be organized, you know? It feels good to be organized for this. So, I wrote down why I wanted to talk about this. I wrote this. I've been learning to understand my emotions instead of judging them. I realized how often I tie my feelings or worth to how others perceive me. So this was basically past me. Um, I'm still a little sensitive till this day. And so, second, I wrote, what emotions feel like for me? Now, this is about emotions, remember. I wrote, I was feeling overwhelmed and confused or uneasy without knowing why. I always wanted reassurance and validation from others. Okay, so let me tell my experience connected to this, of why I wrote this. Now, okay, let's say, well, I'll do it on a real life basis. I would basically go to the gym, right? And I would feel really good about myself and my body and myself, right? It was like the first time I started doing the gym. And people would say, like, oh my gosh, you're so skinny or a little skinnier than usual. And it really messed up with my head because I would feel overwhelmed and confused and I would think like what am I doing wrong in my routine and stuff. And I guess another example that has happened in my experience is also in acting. I was in acting, not like famous acting. I would say like acting at school, like in plays and competitions and stuff like that. And it was really fun, but there was moments where a person had the same exact role as me and we were doing the same role and I just I was admiring this person how they were acting in their role. I was like, wow, like this is my first time having a main role and this person's too and they're doing amazing. And whenever I would act out the role after that person, when it would be my practice, I would get like little comments and feedback about how I acted and stuff and how I did my scene. And I would feel like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I didn't get the validation that I wanted. I kept trying my best to do it exactly like the other girl, but she was doing her own thing. I wasn't really have to do the same thing. That was her thing. And so that really taught me in that time. I learned that I was really just performing. I mean, it is performing, it's acting, but I was really like really tying every single feedback and criticism and everything to my worth that it was affecting me. It did feel overwhelming because it was my first main role. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to stand out. I didn't know how to do it my way. I've never done that before. And so I kept practicing and instead of like copying and trying to be exactly like the other girl who was doing also her best, the only way to help this for me was to write down the feelings that I was feeling during this whole play process, you know? And I would reassure myself after a little scene, I would congratulate myself. Very small. Even though my director didn't like it, even though the people didn't like it or anyone didn't like it, I felt great that I memorized lines better than before or I did something different whenever I would do something way different in a scene, I would feel good. I was changing the way I was doing my scene. I was getting support from others. So it was a good experience to learn not to tie your worth so much to a director's criticism. Even though that director was so sweet, but I just I I was going through it. Acting and TikTok, I wanted to have a niche, something that only captures one certain audience when I wasn't being myself. It's like, oh my gosh, I want to get more likes on this. And it was kind of consuming me. It was consuming me that I would always check, I would always tie it to my worth. I would show it to my family and I would be like, look, 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 look what I did. And they would be like, oh, that's nice. And I would be like, I expected more. I expected more expression. I expected more expectations from them. Yeah, that's how you know, like, you don't have to tie your worth to what you create or what you do because, yeah, it messes with you. But yeah, those are my experiences. It was a very interesting time. Now, the difference I noticed now is podcasting right now feels very healing and freeing. It really has been. Like, I only made one episode and I the comments that I got down there, oh my gosh, they were so sweet. They were so sweet. Whoever commented down there, thank you. That was very sweet of you. How this video really touched your heart and soul and how you relate to it and your experience and sharing your story too. Like, thank you. um so it felt very healing knowing that I wasn't alone, and very freeing too because I got to express myself on the podcast episode. I got to really put out my ideas out there finally for me and for others who wanted to relate to it also. If they want to relate to it, they don't have to relate to it, but if they want. Okay. Fourth, I wrote self-validation, what it means to me. I wrote letting myself feel without needing permission. Yes. Definitely yes. um this is a very big one. I am a very deep emotional person. So I would always write these down. Yes. It is understand your emotions. So I would write it on my journal. I don't know if you can see that. Understand your emotions. The little sticker. Oh wow, that was in 2024. Okay, so I wrote this whenever I had like a feeling of down and I would feel like I wasn't good enough or something. I wrote this. I was right to stand up for myself. I did the best I could with what I knew at that time. I'm proud of myself for challenging my fears and doubts. Today has been a difficult day for me. I can do hard things. Today was tough. What do I need to feel better? It is okay. I said no to something I really did not want to do. I feel overworked and need to prioritize rest. I tried my best and that is enough. I am feeling upset right now. I feel misunderstood. That was difficult. That was a difficult conversation, but it was needed. That's a very big one. Not everyone will like me and that's okay. Yeah, that's all of them. I wrote all of those. And I would have this little book that I want to recommend you guys. It's called Make the Most Out of You by Patrick Lindsay. It's a little spiritual, and I bookmarked all the quotes that I liked in 2024 and 2023 that I used to like a lot. And yeah, it's like plain book. I got it in like a thrift store, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's like it has like really pretty quotes. It has like share your smile, it radiates light, its inner warmth. Yeah, like I would post these on my story all the time. If your self grace. Aw. Yeah, I would write all of these down in my journal all the time. Yeah. So yeah, that's the book I recommend you guys. Please check it out. Is I didn't write it, okay? I'm just saying it's a nice book to read, and even though it doesn't have stories, but it has quotes, and I think that's very beautiful. Okay. What helps me validate myself? Okay. This is the part where it's very important. I wrote little wins I note down to remind myself. When I would be hard on myself, because everyone has their own little critic inside, um, I would write down on my notes, I just made myself breakfast. And I would put a little check mark next to it, like saying it's my little win. Or even if you are feeling good in the inside for once, check mark. Could be you wrote a song, check mark. You something like a little win that you feel good with yourself that you accomplished, even if it's not really big. My wins are getting out of bed, stop rotting. Those are my wins. My wins are like getting finally out of bed or doing my skincare or hanging out with the people that support me. Like finally speaking up for something, finally committed to something, finally not being scared of something. Like it's a win for something at least. It doesn't have to be big. It has to be at least anything that you feel good about. And sitting with my emotions instead of fixing them right away or be honest to someone. Now, I was always super quiet. I would just not tell a word to anyone how I feel bothered or anything. I knew that now I don't need to fix anything when it comes to my emotions. But I'm still learning. I don't have to explain myself to be understood. Yep, I'm still learning this. It's a little hard sometimes to really like explain and people trying to like understand you and sometimes they can. You feel like a Martian. I feel like I have to really get used to not being understood. Yeah, a lot of us. Yeah. It's okay to go slow, but be kind to yourself. Yep. I know the world moves fast and we want to do things quick and get it done. And don't get me wrong, I like getting things done fast, so then I don't have to worry about it no more. But it's also okay to have some peaceful days and you don't have to always have something planned. Wow, I am self projecting right now. I always plan. I'm always the planner. I need to stop. But yeah, it's okay to go slow and be kind to yourself. I need to remind myself that. That's a reminder for me and for you guys to take your time. And your feelings are real. Yeah. You can't be a robot and not have feelings at all. It's okay to have feelings. Yeah. And I want to have a little honorable mention in this since it is about self validation and emotions. His name is Guillermo Mendez, and he said something that really stayed with me a lot. And it helped me also see self validation in a different way. Yeah. And so he creates um music, like writes songs and stuff, which is really cool. And when I heard what he was telling me, really it really like it felt so real and authentic and very relatable from what he was saying. So I was like, this is something I should write down. This is something I should hear. I should be reminding myself about this. And so he hasn't put out anything yet, fully yet, but he showed me snippets of his creativity of music. And so I wrote down what he was telling me. He said he doesn't label himself. Yeah. He doesn't create to fit an image to people. And he works as his own storyline. He makes his own stories. No one can tell him to be in a box or like to really change the story. Like it's all his ideas that he's been holding in. And just to finally express what's been inside. Now, what really hit me that was relatable was when he said, it hurts to have ideas and not share them. He's been holding that creativity for so long, and I can relate too when it comes to my podcast and whatever I've been wanting to release. It's like you're finally releasing. It's like you're not really releasing for others to see. You're releasing for yourself, your inner child. And I see this as pain, but in a way, it isn't about rejection. So that's also sort of connected to emotions in a way, you know? And so I wrote that pain isn't about rejection, it's about silencing yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, I like the way he said it. It was I saw self validation in a different way, definitely. And I wrote down that self validation is sometimes just letting yourself exist out loud, expressing yourself, creativity, showing emotion, showing feelings, showing love, showing embrace, all that. And this is the quote that I wrote for this episode. I wrote, creating for yourself doesn't mean no one else can enjoy it. It just means your worth doesn't depend on their reaction. From what he said of not labeling yourself, not putting yourself in a box, you can do whatever you want with music, you can create, you can make up a storyline, anything you want. That is something that I wish I can do with my podcast. I can express myself. I don't have to look for validation or want others to feel exactly what I'm feeling. Like, I'm not forcing it, you know? I'm not forcing these people to relate to me. The people who want to see, they can see, you know? And yeah, I think this episode was very much healing for me. It's something I really wanted to talk about because I've been struggling with self-validation. I've been struggling with emotions, how to express them, and now that I'm finally like learning new things and also others are learning too, it's something very beautiful from being human. Yeah. And so this is the episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the end. And please take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself, and remember you are loved, you are enough, and I'll see you next time in my 3rd episode. Okay? Bye. Bye.